Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Interstate Radio, reality radio, where yes, even you can be a star. You're listening to Interstate News, and I am Clinton Parrish, the host of Straight Up the Middle, where we talk all things political. And contrary to popular belief, no, we don't lean to the left or to the right. We are right down the middle. So guess what that means? If you don't agree with me, well, I guess you're off some side into a ditch or something. So, but we're happy to be here again this week, and every week I am excited that we are able to get together, talk a little bit, and do a little bit of what I call some therapy. You know, mental health is a big thing right now, and I don't want to imply or belittle that, but it is important that we take care of all of our health, that we take care of, we get our body, our mind, our spirit. And so this show gives me the opportunity to express some ideas that drivers see me expressing in my car with my windows rolled up and they wonder, am I crazy? Or my friends get tired of listening to. But listen, you all tune in this morning because, hey, you may want to hear what I got to say. And more importantly, I would love to hear what you have to say. Of course, we appreciate anytime somebody calls in. And my co-host, Professor Tony Seabrook, is going to be calling in shortly, hopefully, so that we can talk about a few things that have transpired this week. But if you want to call in, the call-in number is 813-444-9588. 813-444-9588. So I used to be a talk show call-in person back in the 80s. And here's what one of the hosts way back in the day said, Lionel, he said, look, write this number down. And I would encourage you to make the In Touch News or Straight Up the Middle a contact in your phone so that when you have the inclination, the moment hits you, you want to say something, you can get on the phone, you can call in, and we can chat about it. You don't have to even say who you are. In fact, if you don't like who you are, I always tell people this is your chance to be somebody else, and nobody will even know. So, all right, we got a call on the phone. Good morning, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is the professor. How are you?
Professor Seabrook, how are you this week?
I'm doing well.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Republicans like they had a halfway decent week, but for some other stuff, that's going to come up next week. But I had a decent week this week.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear me well. It seems to be a bit fuzzy. I can hear you. Hopefully,
I can hear you.
Coming in fairly.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag with Republicans. I hadn't really been following it this week as closely as I normally would. Now, if you're alluding to Speaker Johnson down in Mar-a-Lago,
well,
that's certainly a mixed bag.
Well, the one thing is that was needed to back off Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's
exactly.
Really, he's trying to get Donald Trump to come in and kind of back off the MAGA-ites, and just to calm her down. I think he met with her privately, and she was back out spewing and spouting of various vitriol, of course. No one's strong enough for her. No one's leader enough for her. But I thought that was a good one. The other one was this move by Trump to swing through Atlanta, raise a bunch of money. Went over there to the. Now, he didn't spend much money. I understand that he didn't pay for those milkshakes at Chick-fil-A. He walked out the
You always talk about what he didn't pay for.
The manager at Chick-fil-A was talking about who's going to pay for this as they're walking out, and he's taking credit for I thought that's an interesting event, and I'm trying to break it apart and that event in the Atlanta with the Chick-fil-A. What were your thoughts about that event?
Well, it was good for optics. It's actually true of, I think it's a good depiction of where President Trump actually stands with the African American vote. Now, I know Democrats don't like to talk about it because it's too close to their, that I don't know, love-hate relationship they have with the African-American community. When we want to break up with Democrats, we're going to pay off your student loan. Hey, we're going to give you another program, but now Trump's showing, he's really showing his pull, his place. Now, I thought it was a bit awkward if you saw the hug with him and the young lady. He didn't know what to
Michaela
do, you know,
Montgomery.
and rightfully.
Miss Montgomery.
Okay, okay. I thought that was her. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure, but I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, he has to be careful on, you know, what he looks at, like while he's looking at her, how he gestures toward her, because he knows that they're going to pick him apart. But still, I mean, it didn't hurt him any. It only upsets the Democrats that he'll do it. He has the nerve to go through Atlanta and everything, especially after Luke just had the whole Freaknik commentary. You know, and then Trump shows up in Atlanta.
About the same thing, isn't it? You know, Luke, Trump. I mean, how they handle women, they about the same, I think.
Well, I mean, but now let's talk stats. Trump has, from what I understand, again, I hadn't looked at the numbers really closely, but he's increased his support among African Americans at least 10 points.
If we
That's
believe, if we believe polls,
if we believe polls, but you don't necessarily have to believe polls to, if you're online. Besides the D.L. Hughley, you know, those Democrat strong voices, African American voices online, Trump definitely gets a lot of love from African Americans.
I don't know if I use the word a lot. I think that there's a lot of disenchantment with Biden and just the current state of affairs, mainly
But what is that? But you say that as if there is no reason for that disenchantment, that Biden hadn't done anything to really deserve this, you know, peeling off or losing of his base. That is his base.
You know what? Well, most presidents, you know, have this dynamic that whatever happens, people blame the president. No matter what happens, a boat hits a bridge. Why isn't the president there? A train derails. Where was the president when it happened? Why he hadn't been over to visit? I mean, whatever happens, people tend to blame the president. You know, Donald Trump took a lot for not just COVID happening, but then how he handled COVID and whatnot, and some of the various messaging. So I understand that people are saying, hey, whatever I'm not happy with in my life or is going on right now, who can I blame? Well, they can't blame Donald Trump. He's not in office. So you blame the guy that is in office. I mean, that's kind of the way so I can understand looking at it, and some of the things about Joe Biden right now, they're at a more of a different, a complex level and very, very specific in certain situations. So I understand that. Now, I do not understand the draw to Donald Trump, but for his celebrity status. And in this situation here, but the Democrats need to pay attention, and try to figure out, okay, how do we message this thing? Because, if my understanding is this Michaela person is a Republican operative. She goes and coordinates Republican events, which probably means that she's on somebody's paying her somewhere to. So she probably went back and paid for those milkshakes. She make sure that that was taken care of. But she gets paid to go around and do things, and the fact that she could muster up people who are willing to go out in public and have their face shown, supporting young people, supporting Trump in the black community. It takes a little bit. I got a number of Republican people that will text me and email me all week long. They aren't coming anywhere near going out in public and having their voices heard, though. So I think Democrats need to be paying attention and listening, because I really don't know what Trump's going to do. Maybe you could tell me these young people support Trump because this is what they'll get from a Trump presidency. I don't know what that is.
Well, I don't know if it's what they'll get as opposed to what they're seeing. And so we have to talk about why they are. I mean, up in Chicago, up in New York, it's always something on the news about immigrants. Chicago's been pretty vocal about these hotels that they've been putting immigrants in. New York, the same thing. I mean, and these are strong African American areas, and so they're watching. And it's no secret what the Democrat administration is doing. They like that immigration because that's going to be their vote. That's how they're replacing the black vote. I know Democrats don't like to say that, or Democrat operatives don't like to say that, but that's exactly what that is. And so, just like, I forget her name, was saying that about OJ, that black African Americans related to OJ because he killed 2 white people.
No. I don't think that was the relation. I don't think they related.
Well, no. I'm not putting words in her mouth.
Right? No. Yeah. That's what you know.
You
We
didn't see that?
No, I did not, and I'm glad I didn't. You know, some things you don't want in your head.
I think else. She was President Obama's policy. She was one of his policy staff, or whatever it was. And so that's just as wild as some people saying, well, or Trump saying, well, I think these African Americans can relate to me because, you know, I got a mug shot. I've been in the system. But I told you guys this 2-3 years ago. I mean, if they can do this to Trump, now you can say he's not as rich as he said he was. You can say a lot of things you want. He's richer than most black people you know, and we know. And before he became the Republican nominee and won, he was the Democrats one of their favorite billionaires. If they can do that to him, black people are looking at that. We've been through this. We know how it is to have the system rigged against us. That the guy next to me in my same office can do it, but when I did it, you tried to break me. You wanted to put me in jail.
Let's go.
Know what that looks like.
Let's go back to one of the comments you made about the immigrant thing. So I don't know how those people can't vote. How is that? I don't know. That's one part.
Because
yeah, but
there
I'm
were
just
already
saying.
reports about some special elections in California that were allowing them to vote.
No. Listen, I mean, the rules for who gets to vote in our elections are pretty set. The only person I know
of, understand that.
Yeah, for the most part. Let me say that you may have, a one-off here or random people trying to vote, but we don't have a massive voter fraud issue in America. In fact, the last thing I saw someone last week
says the Democrat who supports Joe Biden.
Yeah, but I don't. But the only right. Wasn't it last week? Last week we had a person go get prosecuted for 15 years. They're going to jail for voter fraud, but they were doing voter fraud in favor of Donald Trump. I mean, I just don't. I'm not aware. I get the people throwing this thing out that we have massive voter fraud. It may not be 100%, but there is no massive voter fraud in America that's changing elections. So I don't know how. The other thing is, according to what I've been told, is the Latino vote is moving to the Republicans. So I don't know what this fear factor is, and that these folks who come across, who are recent immigrants, tend to be more conservative. They're anti-socialists. Yeah. They're more religious. They're more family values. That whole voter replacement theory.
Where that profile stems from, that profile makes no sense to me.
Oh, absolutely.
You telling me the people who are coming into this country illegally are more religious or more conservative? Yeah, that makes
absolutely.
No sense.
Absolutely. They're more religious. They tend to be more Catholic. They tend to be more family values and more conservative. But Professor, you have given us a lot to talk about and think about this morning. Now you've got to get back to class, so can you hang on for another segment?
No, I need to get back.
Get on back. Go teach the youths of America. All right, then. Appreciate it very much. That's the professor y'all calling in. Sure. Thank you, sir. You have a great rest of your day. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and you clean up on aisle 7. How about that? We'll be right back after this quick break.
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz, today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
When you've been injured, you deserve help from an attorney that knows how to handle your injury claim. This is Attorney Clinton Paris from the Law Office of Clinton Paris. For over a decade, I worked for insurance companies, and now I use that knowledge and experience to help people that have been injured. For a free consultation, call me, Attorney Clinton Paris, at 813-413-7924. That's 813-413-7924, or at parislawoffice.com. At the Law Office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt. Offices, Riverview.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for ya. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen or sundown. 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. Is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz. Today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
We're back live with Index Radio. Reality radio, if you could be a star. Now, let me tell you how you be a star, really. You got to get on the phone and call. If you want to be a star, you actually have to call in and be a participant. The call number is 813-444-9580. We talk all things political on this show, and I really try to keep an open mind and listen, and I enjoy listen to the professor, and I take what he says to heart, but, and then I think about it a little bit. But he talked about this concept within the Republican party about replacement theory, this whole replacement theory and the fear-mongering around that immigrants are going to replace someone, somehow, whatnot. And it's interesting, he mentioned it on the Democratic side, that the Democratic Party wants to allow in these Hispanic immigrants to replace losing of the black vote. What that really makes me think about is the history of the evolution of the black vote. And let me just quickly remind everyone, the black vote, for the most part, we start out Republican. And we start out Republican because of the Civil War. And during the Civil War, it was the Republican Party fighting to end slavery. Now, I'm not going to get into why they were trying to end slavery. The reality is they were fighting in that war against the pro-slavery South. So they get credit for fighting to end slavery. And so your early African-American voters are Republicans. And it stays that way for a very long time. It's not until you get until after World War II that there starts to become a drive for civil rights and some questioning about, neither one of the parties at that point in time was advocating for en masse allowing either women and or African Americans to vote. But ultimately, the Democrats got in the lead on getting black people to vote, and that resulted in the majority of black folks slowly, when you go through the 30s, 40s, absolutely doing the civil rights movement. And by the time you get to John Kennedy, there's a mass swell of exodus of black folks being registered to vote within the Democratic Party. And your racist Democrats are moving now over into the Republican Party. That's the reality of it. They move into the Republican Party, and the Republican Party has maintained a lack of compassion for the African American experience since then. That's just those are the facts. Now, we can talk about, well, liberal policies by the Democrats may or may not fix whatever it is you're trying to, fix in the African American community. Some of them have led to other problems, so on and so forth. But we're not in a static environment where there's a one fixed solution to these complex issues of society. If they were, you would not have these ongoing disputes between different people worldwide. Everywhere you go in the world, everywhere you go and you find a long-standing dispute, the people are different. Everywhere you go and find that. What's unique is when you have different people figure out a way to coexist. And there's no place you can go, no border you can find where it didn't start out where there had to be some battle and fight, be it demographic over physical characteristics or religious beliefs. But differences have always led to conflict, as they do in any situation, because of our human nature. That's just what it is. So, we need to get over the idea that one thing can fix anything. And for example, you have the I think it's a great deal. It's a great deal of Great Society. Great deal. I think that's what it is. That was put forth by Roosevelt. It fixed some stuff and left some other problems. You build a road, guess what you get next? Traffic. People say, we used to have traffic over here. I know. You didn't have roads either. And you didn't have subdivision. And you didn't have a mall. And you didn't have a lot of stuff. One thing leads to something else. So I don't want to hear people say, well, the Democrats hadn't solved black problems. No, they have not. And Republicans hadn't either. But I know that one thing that really bothers me the most about the Republican positioning is one of a lack of compassion. And so that to me is very, very problematic. But be that as it may, I don't want to have people take the position that, look, there's a savior for you in the Republican Party. Now, we just had this incident in the last couple of weeks that happened where Candace Owens was summarily discharged from her Republican role that she had been playing as an apologist and comfort blanket for some Republicans, white Republicans. Now we've got this young lady out of Atlanta, Michaela Montgomery. Republican Party says, oh, my God, you don't believe what happened. Donald Trump, he stumbles into a Chick-fil-A. All these people are just happy to see him. They just happen to be there. And then he orders 30 milkshakes for everybody. It's just beautiful. Then we find out it's a planned event. It's scheduled. It's set up by a Republican political operative, this Michaela Montgomery, and it looks like she's trying to become the new Candace Owens. And her job, really, the mission that she's on, is to go around to HBCUs and basically coordinate and recruit black students. So if Trump thinks he's going to get black students to support him in the election, he might want to check in with Cornel West. Because Cornel West is going to be going around recruiting that academic vote, and I think his cerebral approach fits what students may like. But we got a caller on the phone. Good morning, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Good morning. This Carl, the trucker, calling in.
Well, good morning, Carl. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Nice Saturday morning. Nice little wind here in Atlanta. Over here, getting my bike service. So I got a little time.
Okay. Now, have you been out to the neighborhood Chick-fil-A to kind of, walk on the ground that Trump walked on, to kind of just get some photos or get a milkshake? Did you see that where he was up there now recently collecting some money? Were you around for that, or you missed that event?
I missed that event, but I saw it on Fox News. They're gonna make a big chat for that. So just to try to get on more black voters. A lot of people, they black guys, they're pulling in for Trump. So I know where the Chick-fil-A did it.
Let me ask you, when you saw that event, What are your thoughts about the event? What did you take from how anything of significance?
Well, I just think that they're just going to Trump because of his celebrity status, or his I mean, he's just a hard type guy, I guess, and I guess and a dislike for Joe Biden, and a lot of the blacks, if they don't want to be the typical Democratic, typical Democratic voter.
I was surprised. One thing that caught my attention is these are young people, and they came out to an event for Trump. I thought that was very savvy move that they did this. But I just can't see what the upside is. They're saying, here are the Trump policies I like. And I can't think of the one that would fit the students. I like his policy on making sure jobs give me a fair. Well, no, that's not a policy that he's pushing. I like his policy on making sure everybody has health. No, he doesn't have a health care policy. I just don't know what policy Trump has that these young people go, yeah, that's going to be great for America. I just maybe his policy for, paying off porn stars. I don't know. We are in Atlanta, there's a vibrant adult, entertainment industry that I hear. But I just don't know what. You have any idea, though, what would be attractive besides you think it's the celebrity status alone?
I think it's more so the dislike for Biden or whatever. They think because he's a career politician, he can't be trusted. He has something up his sleeve. He's not for. What have you done for me? Well, the economy is doing pretty good, but they don't see it. I mean, they don't experience it because the gas prices are still going up. And you're still going into Aldi, or you're going into some of the other stores, and they're still the price is still up. So they don't see the effect what they're doing. So it's like. What are y'all doing for me? But they don't see
well, look, check this out. In the same week that Joe Biden announced he was waiving millions of dollars of student loans, he gets upstaged with young people by Donald Trump.
Yeah.
His staff, the people handling him, they suck. That should have been done on a college campus somewhere with a bunch of young people around, where maybe he should have been at a Five Guys or something and announced this student loan thing. But he gets upstaged by Donald Trump because Donald Trump is out actually campaigning. Joe Biden, I know he's old and whatnot, he's got to get to work. He has got to get out with the people. But just think about the contrast. Donald Trump stiffed Chick-fil-A on 30 milkshakes. He ordered 30 milkshakes, didn't pay for it, walked out the door at a staged event. That does nothing for those students. In contrast, Joe Biden gets rid of millions of dollars of student loans, and he gets no pub for it. That's handling, that's marketing. It's a missed opportunity for his staff. Those are the real issues. Donald Trump's running a campaign. And Joe Biden's got to wake up, and while he's governing, he's going to have to get out and campaign. Hey, Carl, I got to take a quick break. Can you hold on and I want to talk about Donald Trump's upcoming trial, if we could. Can you hold on for us? Okay, we got Carl getting his bike serviced up in Atlanta. He's gonna hold on, kind of shaking his head, trying to figure out how did Donald Trump come in Atlanta and own the place like he did. He went. What did the professor say? He went freaknik style on Atlanta while he was up there. He went freaknicking up there. All right, we're gonna take a break. Come back on the other side and talk about this upcoming trial for Donald Trump. You listen to In Touch News Radio, reality radio. Everybody can be a star. We'll be right back.
Touch Radio, the most loved station across the nation. In Touch Radio. Tell a friend. In Touch Radio.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
When it comes to reality radio, everyone is a star.
I know that's right.
On your smooth soul and R&B station. On the World Wide Web.
Access granted.
In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live on the radio, reality radio, right to be a star. Got my main man, Carl, Carl, the country southern trucker. Carl, the trucker on the phone. He's not in the truck today. He says he's out getting his bike service. All right, so you're gonna go out and do some bike riding, huh?
With my motorcycle, just I have a Harley Davidson street glide.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got a real bike. Oh, I was just actually I got like a 12 speed. So, hey, yeah. Well, you be careful riding that bike. So on Monday we've got the campaign finance trial for Donald Trump starting up in New York. He did everything he could this week to try to avoid the trial happening. Do you really believe the trial is going to start on Monday? And what would you like to see come out of the trial?
I would like for everything about him come out in the trial. I mean, everything. And that's why I'm really for him going to court on a lot of these issues. Well, again, just hope that a lot of people see that, for what he is and what he's done. The first thing that like my stepson, and he always says Trump is going to lower your taxes. That's not the only thing they can really go for. He's lowering your taxes, but he's not lowering your taxes for the middle class. He's lowering the taxes.
I was just about to say, unless he's making $500,000 or more, these taxes are going down.
So that's where a lot of that's the image where that's a smoke screen where he's going to lower my taxes. He's lower my taxes, then I have more money coming in. But that's just a smoke screen because those taxes are not going to be lowered for you. But Biden this year, the Democrats they're campaigning a lot on the abortion bill, and they're going to put him out on Front Street because he really claimed he really changed every Roe versus Wade. So he's gonna have to wear that.
So we got this trial coming up, and the allegation is that somehow or another he violated campaign laws by having this porn star paid off. But Carl, I don't know if his people care about what he did. Let me. So here's what's going to come out in the trial. Donald Trump has filed for bankruptcy, I think, 5 or 6 times. We already know that. What's going to come out in the trial is Donald Trump. He lied to all the people working for him and manipulated this relationship with this woman. We already know that. It's going to come out that the woman was paid and money was given to, I think, through the Inquirer, through some kind of catch and kill strategy. We already know that. I mean, I don't know what's there to come out. I mean, maybe there's more stuff out there, but I don't know that there's more to come out that really matters.
Well, you want to know more for the details. You want more of the details or whatever, and maybe you put a lot of more, more your and I won't say angelical voters, but even for some of the independents back on the Democratic side. Maybe,
okay.
Maybe,
the independents. So this may very well, it could very well impact how they, go about it. Now, let's say he's convicted. Do you think he's going to jail, and do you want him to go to jail?
No, I don't want him to go to jail because it doesn't do anything for him to go to jail. I mean,
well, he can't campaign. I mean, if he's in jail, he can't go campaign.
He can't. I don't think he has a chance of winning this presidency anyway. But just the damage that he does, just the damage that he does, by pulling people apart and just by confusing the whole your political strategy. I mean, he just messes things up.
Well, I would agree with you that the legacy of Donald Trump is a weakening of people's trust and belief in democracy, in our election system. That as a result of that, you got people now demanding or pushing to change election laws, things of that nature, which I think in the long term just lead us into a bad direction. Last thing, Carl, before I let you go, we lost OJ this week. It was a tough loss for the Juice. For football fans who watch the Juice, run and run through the airport, run OJ, go, the Juice is getting down, for his Hertz rental car. So that's the Juice we remember, the Juice from the movies and with Jane Kennedy and all that, and then of course the downfall of when he had the issue with the murder charges and then of course going to jail. But when you heard the Juice passed away, what were your thoughts? Thoughts.
Well, I really didn't think too much of it. I just, I mean, he was a great guy back in the 70s, a good running back. He was a great person. I mean, really, but, he's a great person. I think that he ran his course, right? Everybody have a day to leave this earth, so his time came.
Gotcha. So, all right, Carl, thank you for tuning in this morning. We appreciate you very much. That's Carl out there. He's got his. Is that the Harley I hear? All right. Okay. They bullying you?
They got mine and going to service.
Okay, I was going to say somebody rolled up on you with a big Harley, a haul, and bullied you. All right, Carl, we appreciate you very much. Thanks for calling in. All right, so that's Carl up in Atlanta. I guess he's going to get on his motorbike and roam around and try and get out and find that Chick-fil-A and make sure everything is straight over at the UC. So all the student union is back in place though. It's crazy tough. I thought about when OJ passed. I thought about a bunch of stuff, and I remember, it came shortly after Rodney King, and so Rodney King was maybe the first. In the black community, we were fully aware of the heavy-handedness of law enforcement. But when the video of Rodney King and the relentlessness with which they continue to hit him with impunity left a real hurt in the black community for law enforcement. The OJ trial, it seemed like a gang up. It just seemed like, the whole system has decided he's guilty. In the black community, we're used to that. So why don't you go ahead and confess? And if you don't confess, we're going to put you away in jail for life. He didn't confess. He fought back. It came out that the police did some questionable things to try to give themselves a better chance of getting a conviction, which was not necessary. Again, something we're very familiar with in the black community. And the jury punished them for that. The jury punished the police for the way they investigated the death of Nicole Simpson, and I think Ron Goldman was the her companion's name. And so OJ got off. Fast forward, OJ does a bum rush in Vegas. He hears about somebody's got some of his stuff across town. They're selling it. He grabbed a couple of his boys, said, let's go visit them. You know, they roll up in there. Now, he doesn't have a gun on him, but one of his buddies does. And the buddy lifts his shirt and flashes the gun to the other guys. And ultimately, OJ is charged with false imprisonment, robbery, and he had a great, if you go back and look at his statement in court when he was sentenced. He said, I am confused. He said, I understood some guys that I had known or was aware of had my stuff. It was no one disputes they had my stuff. I went to go get my stuff. Now, I didn't know that this guy that went with me had a gun, and I didn't have a gun. I had never threatened to use a gun. He never threatened to use a gun. But the aura around OJ was, you got off one time, you're not getting off again. He goes to jail and gets out. Also, people are thinking a little bothered when he said he was going to go out and look for the real killers. And then they found him at various golf courses around the country, you know, looking for the killers. That, I think, bothered people somewhat. My last recollection of seeing O.J. Simpson was a week or so before Super Bowl. It may have been the week of Super Bowl this year. He had a Twitter post stating that he was hosting a big Super Bowl party, that the rumors that he was in hospice were not true, and that, you know, he was going to be having a great time and he hoped everybody else did for the Super Bowl. And then the next thing you hear, he has passed away. But I thought OJ opened something in America that needed to be reopened, and that was hard discussions about race, policing, and how black people in this country get treated, regardless of how much money. You think about the people in this country. We think about P. Diddy right now, whatever his name is, Sean Puffy Combs, right now. And there's a swirl of accusations around him and a swirl of something's going on, right? And in the midst of that, you know, there's truth and there are lies. But he's got to live with that. And I can't imagine being in the midst of that and it's not true, and have that be what society does to me, and just circles and tears. You know, I mentioned Russell Simmons. You know, Russell got up out of here before they could get to him. You know, everybody's familiar with what went down with R. Kelly. And not to say that some of the stuff isn't weird behaviors and some of it's not earned, but, you know, when society takes aim at you, you know, pop culture decides you're a villain, it can get rough. And that's what OJ experienced, and America saw that as well. And that's what I think led to a lot of black folks wanting OJ to get off for that case that he did. So, but that open wound has remained open, though, because we continually see situations where, you know, law enforcement and some of our institutions treat black people unfairly. That's one of my big issues with the Republican Party, is I don't trust the Republican Party to even pretend like it wants to be fair and understand the extra burdens that have been placed on African Americans that we have to overcome and to deal with. And so for that reason, I'm very suspicious of what, and then you have a guy like Donald Trump come out with his rhetoric and whatnot. It's just unfortunate. So, all right, we're going to take this last break, come back on the other side, and just run off a list of things that have just kind of been making me go, this we got, you know, what's really going on behind this? All right, hang in there with us. In-Text News Radio, reality radio, everybody's a star. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical. tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted. Dial 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay, call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida, grab a pin of sundown. 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Now 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
Are you missing church?
Yes!
Well, you don't have to. Listen in every Sunday to Reverend Dr. Maurice Johnson. Voice your victory from the Memphis Christian Center at 11 a.m. Central Time and 12 noon Eastern Time on In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back live on Intentionally Radio, reality radio, about to be started. My name is Tim Paris. Happy to be in studio with you as we go on this journey every week. You know, we talk about all things political, and sometimes it gets lighthearted, but underneath it, there's the seriousness of the political structure that's at play, and we're facing, I think, the most important election in our time that's coming up, because there's some philosophical differences in America. You know, democracy is not a very favorable way to run a country, right? You know, I once told a story once about, you know, I load up the car, Bells. I get the car loaded up, neat. I got the kids in the back. Everybody's there, right? Now, everybody wants to decide where we gonna go to eat. Everybody's got an opinion, right? But only one person paid for the car. Only one person. Only one person paid for the insurance. Only one person bought the gas. Only one person is going to drive the car. Only one person in that car is going to pay for the food when we get there. But everybody wants equal say. So that's what makes the democracy unstable. Because when I say that, everybody said, well, surely that won't work. Because I don't run my car like a democracy. I don't run my office I don't run nothing like a democracy. Why? Because everybody's not vested equally. That's really what people are saying in America. Whoa. Some people don't know enough to vote. They're not informed enough. And I got some guy who's a crackhead, never been convicted, he's got his rights, who stumbles in on election day, and he votes directly opposite everything I voted. Well, guess what he just did? He just canceled out my vote. He's not working anywhere paying taxes. He's not doing any of the stuff to carry society forward. So people don't trust democracy because everybody gets the same say, but everybody's not vested the same way. And that's one of the undercurrents of why people don't like everybody having a chance to vote. People don't know who they're voting for. Like in this case, I mean, I really, you know, I would like to assume me, my listeners, and people that are in the sphere of discussing politics daily, they're well informed. But that's not the average person. Somebody on campus ran out and said, hey, everybody, who wants a free milkshake? Run down to the Chick-fil-A. And guess what they did? They ended up in the middle of a whole political event. I'm not saying exactly that happened, but I know to tell you something. When I was in college, I went to everything where there was free food. Every event. You know why? because in college you're hungry and you don't pass them a free meal because you don't know about the next meal. So I get that, So democracy, people don't trust democracy. And that's why around the world you have what I call faux democracy. In Cuba, there's an election, but there's only one person on the ballot. There's only one person on the ballot. Some people say in America, really, you really only have, when you get to a presidential election, you only have two people on the ballot, really. You're going to have Cornel West and Robert Kennedy maybe on some ballot. And then somebody's going to also run Donald Duck. And so there'll be a list of people, Charlie Brown will be on there and some of that kind of stuff, Frosty the Snowman. They'll be on, but really the only two people really running are the people at the top of the ticket. And so it's not like you don't have a bunch of choices. They just had an election in I think it's Nigeria, somewhere in Africa. 13 people on the ballot, legitimate candidates, right? And afterwards, the president's got to go negotiate with these people to try to get enough support to get a majority so you can actually run the country. It's a very different system. So democracy, I get it, but it's what we got, and it's the thing that gives everyone the most chance to have an impact if they want to exercise it. And so I worry about anyone who undermines that institution. Donald Trump has done that. He's made people not trust democracy in America even more. And the rest of the world and the despots and the wannabe dictators are saying, see, we told you. Y'all been faking it. It's kind of like those people that have been married for like 25 years. And the whole time you've known them, Bells, all they talked about is what? The greatness of the institution of being married, how it makes everybody better. And then next year you find out they're getting divorced. Like, wait a minute. You were telling us something, but you're actually doing something different. So I'm very, very worried about what's left, not Donald Trump right now, but the people that come behind him. The weird, I think Hillary said it best, the deplorables. He's given them a chance to be relevant, to come out the corners. I talk to some of these people. On a regular basis. I'm actually shocked at some of the stuff that they say. I trust this, and I remind myself, they really believe this stuff they're saying. Just as much as I believe what I'm saying. That doesn't make one more valid, one true or the other. It is the reality in which we deal with. This week's going to be crazy, though, coming up because of this trial with Donald Trump. A lot of stuff is just talk. That's a real thing. And it's not like the business. He could end up losing his freedom. It's a criminal trial. He could end up doing something in the trial that's ludicrous. Or worse, somebody who's watching the trial gets so agitated about what's being done to their guy that they act crazy. There's so many elements to this. And so I'm really, really going to be watching this idea that we in America, of course, in South Korea, just about every president has gone to prison when they left office. And I'm talking like 8, 9, 10 of them gone to prison. It's like, you want to be president? Come on. But when you finish, guess what you're going to do? We're going to put you in prison. And I'm not talking 1 or 2. I'm like the last 10, 11 presidents have all gone to prison. Now, I'm not going to get into whether they should or should not have. I'm just saying what's been normalized. No one thinks anything of the new president not prosecuting, but when a new president comes in, the old president gets prosecuted. I don't think we want to be in that place. I don't want us to be comfortable with criminalizing our presidents unless they've really. So I'm going to be watching this trial to see how they handle that component. I'm not a fan of political people being put in jail. The grand scheme of crimes, this is not very significant, but for the people's anxiety or hatred for Donald Trump, I don't want him prosecuted for that reason. We have a lot of stuff we had a guy last week who was sentenced to selling American secrets. He was a spy in Cuba and some other places. He got 15 years. That's nothing. He got 15 years. He spied for longer than that. He spied for 25, 30 years. He's sentenced to 15 years in jail. So in the grand scheme of that, how big a crime is this that Donald Trump has committed? You know, and you think about an election, you know, what does it cost? $200,000, $200 million to win an election? And we want to prosecute him because they paid off a porn star. You know, the argument would be, I think we heard this in his other case, who's the victim? The victim is the system. We want to propose to everyone, our system is strong, our system is valid. Well, this guy has got to go for our system to be valid. He needs to be beaten at the ballot box and summarily discharged from our discussion. We'll start that process next week with this doggone trial. So anyway, appreciate everybody listening in. Listen on about where you are and what's happening. There's a little weather that blew through, but the sun is looking bright outside, so I'm going to get outside. Go to something called a Noop Nick. Noop Nick. I'm heading to Noop Nick, Nupenic. And my hat and shirt might give you a clue of what a Noop Nick is. Hey, man, y'all have a great week. See you back here next week. Take care.